Hello, hello. Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Yes, I know. I'm gone live early. I've gone live early. Yes. There's little one crying. Yes, I have gone live early because it's bank holiday, and why not? Okay, I did get the times mixed up, but then I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to change the times. Let's go early and have a little chat, shall we? Let's make use of the bank holiday we have here in the UK. Good Friday, and just chat. Let's chat. Let's have a look what we can expect for the weekend. You know me too well, James. You know me too well. We will be joined by our co-host very soon as well. But you can see there, FP1 starts in just under an hour's time, guys. But welcome. Hope you're well. Hope your Friday's treating you well. Greetings from Australia. Mr. Alexander, good to see you. Yes, I hope your bank holiday, if you're here in the UK, is treating you well as well, and you're enjoying the time off school, the time off work, and hunkered down for some hopefully more interesting F1 for the last weekend of this triple header, which is in Saudi Arabia. I jump scared you, Lily. Little one staring at me. But we'll have a look at what to expect here this weekend. Look at the track itself. Have a look at what Pirelli have provided us or are providing us this weekend. So yes, a very different circuit, very different track surface to what we experienced in Bahrain. Will we see as much overtaking as what we saw in Bahrain? Probably not. However, we know Saudi can conjure up some red flags, some safety cars, which always spices up the action. And hopefully as well, we will still get some we'll see in a second with what Pirelli have provided the teams for this weekend. It bodes well. Let's just put it this way. It bodes well for some strategy here this weekend. She probably thinks you're hiding milk in the cup. She will be fed very soon. Hi. She's looking at me from the other side of the room. But yes, happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter. I haven't got any Easter eggs yet. Me and the missus have been looking at booking a holiday, so I've been focusing on trying to get fit and not eat as much chocolate as I normally do. But Easter, Easter, surely there's an excuse for chocolate, eh? Love a good Easter egg. The rookies have done well so far, mostly keeping it on track. This will be a test here. Yes, well, there is one driver. This is not a complete rookie test for him, is it? Ollie Bearman raced here last year in Carlos Sainz's stead when he had that appendicitis and had to have his appendix removed. And Ollie Bearman did a tremendous start. A brilliant going for him. I think he finished P7 in the end last time out. So that will bode well for him here this weekend. What a drive from him last week as well. Our driver, personally, my driver of the day, your driver of the day was Oscar Piastri, that you voted for last weekend. But I think Bearman, yes, while his qualifying wasn't particularly great, it wasn't great, he qualified 20th. The recovery drive, I don't normally rate recovery drives so highly because you normally see recovery drives from drivers who you expect to easily make it for the midfield, like in the Red Bull car, Mercedes, etc. I don't rate those so highly because they should have been in Q3 and they have the car to easily overtake the midfield. But he made up 5 positions on the first lap, and great strategy call by Haas. Stayed ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, stayed with Yuki Tsunoda, held off at the drivers behind, and just was tremendous throughout. So, hey, Dr. Galadima, new subscriber, extended new greetings. Welcome, welcome. Yes, and welcome to any of you that are new and that have discovered this channel. We've had a lot of subscribers recently. 40k we hit last weekend. So yes, 20,000 viewers. It was a mega race, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll be here for the remainder of the season. So yeah. Your excuse, James, is having an obscene amount of chocolate was not crashing in your IMSA race with zero practice. Oh, dear Bless you. Only down to 5.5k. Oh, I've never seen that high an R rating. Hey, Peter. All the way from Delaware. Nice, man. Who do I think is going to win the World Drivers' Championship? Ooh, I'm still sticking. I've said this. I'm still sticking behind my initial prediction, which is Lando. I really do. While Oscar Piastri's been very calm and collected in the previous 3 races, and he's closed that gap of that 20-point advantage, which Lando hasn't been able to take advantage of. I do think as the season goes on, it's a very long season. I think Lando will. I still have faith. I still have faith in him. So. You love the channel, trying to donate. Oh, thank you, Simon. Look, if you want to donate and help the channel, I really appreciate it. There should be a link in the description below, I believe, for the Streamlabs donation, or you can give a super chat. Look, super chats are brilliant, but YouTube takes a bit off the top. So if you donate directly, that I get all of that. So yeah, no, really appreciate it. And I'm trying to, at the moment as well, in relation to donations and so forth, anything that I receive, I'm trying to put back into the channel to try and make things a whole better experience for you. So think of it that way, guys. It's not going. I mean, of course, if the little one needs nappies and I'm running a bit short, then it goes on little one. But yes, I'm trying to put back into the channel as much as I can. So the Oscar train is coming for you. We saved you a seat. I'm a fan of Oscar. I really am. Even though he did crash into me in iRacing in F3 a few years ago. But yes, I am a big fan of Oscar Piastri. I think he is definitely one of those talents that you don't, and I say this about Bortoleto as well. Bortoletto's in a stake F1 car, so it's very different for him. But you don't win back-to-back F3 and F2 titles unless you are super talented and super adaptable. You just don't. And the fact that Piastri and Bortoleto have been able to do that is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's one thing to win F2, but it's another thing to win it in like your first year and to win it coming back off of winning F3. So those sort of drivers don't come around too often these days, especially with how much talent there is. So any Ferrari car updates? No updates. I haven't heard anything in relation to updates for Saudi, to be honest with you. It's not really a track that you see updates. Of course, this track is normally the second race of the season, pushed back to accommodate Ramadan, as Bahrain was as well. So yeah, nothing really in relation to updates. What we will see is maybe a shake-up again in relation to how the cars perform, because it is a very different circuit to Bahrain. We'll get into. I'll tell you what. Let's have a look at the actual circuit, shall we? So let's have a look at what we can expect. Because you may. It's a horrible. For me, setting up the stream and so forth, it is a terrible track map. There's so much wasted space, and you can't move the angle of the track, unfortunately, when it comes to the track map. But the actual track itself, let's have a look. Considerable amount of corners here and some DRS zones for us to look into. You sent 3 super chats and they didn't come through. Surely, you sent 3 super chats. Oh my god! Thank you if you did. Why have they not come through? Don't send any more, Simon. It sounds really silly. Yes, a content creator is asking you not to send any more super chats. I don't want you getting billed all of a sudden triple the amount of what you initially was going to provide. So just hold fire. Because unfortunately my end as well, when it comes to refunds, I through YouTube, I don't think I can do it. Whereas like an actual donation link, I mean, unless you've donated for a donation link, hang on. I haven't got an email stating from PayPal either, so just, yeah, hold fire. Yeah, see if your card's been charged that way first. But thank you anyway, mate. The sentiment is there, so thank you very much. But yes, Gabriel is well better than people think he is after watching him in Sauber. Yeah, I think Gabriel Bortoleto started off this season pretty well, to be honest with you. Look, he's got a benchmark. He's got a very good benchmark in himself, which is Nico Hülkenberg. If he can just week in, week out match Nico Hülkenberg, that's a very, very good performance for him. So, right, so yes, this is the track map, guys, and the track layout for Saudi Arabia here at Jeddah. And, well, it is a circuit that has 27 corners. Unbelievable, 27 corners. Now, The track surface here is not very abrasive. It's not like what we saw at Bahrain. However, we will get onto what Pirelli are providing the teams here this weekend, which could help with the former strategy. That's why we saw such a great race in Bahrain. It's not because it's just a good circuit for racing and the layout of it, but also because we had the tyre offsets. We finished that race with almost an even spread of teams with an even spread of soft compound, medium compound and hard compound. Like, it was brilliant to see, and that's why we got some good racing, and that's what we really need moving forward as well. But yes, 2 DRS detection zones here, 2 DRS zones. Sorry, why has it got? It says 1. Oh yes, there's 3. Sorry, there's 3 DRS zones here. Yeah, I forgot about that one in the middle. But you don't really see the one in the middle is kind of a setup DRS. So the one there from turn 19 to turn 22, that is pretty much, you don't really see overtakes through there. It's primarily a setup. Now, what we have seen in the past is we have seen drivers go into the wall at turn 22, though. Lance Stroll did that last year, I believe it was, at turn 22, turn 23. So it is a corner where you can, a section where you can really start to put on the pressure. And then, of course, try and stay as close as you can to utilise the DRS down the back straight, back bend from turn 25 to turn 27. But as we've seen in the past, we have seen some DRS games there because, well, do you really want to overtake someone down into turn 27 when they'll get DRS back? Because you can see there, sneakily, the DRS detection for the start-finish straight is round the last corner. So no longer is it before, if you remember where Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen were playing those DRS games, the DRS detection for zone 3, which is the start-finish straight, was basically where the speed trap was. So they would very dangerously lift off the throttle and so forth because they'd want to ensure that they were going to have that DRS heading down the start-finish straight. Whereas now, rightfully so, it's after the last corner, so it stops all those shenanigans. But really, you don't want to overtake down into turn, unless there's maybe loads of drivers behind you and you just want track position. It is possible to defend into turn 1, but yeah, really, if you kind of want to set up the move down into turn 1 because it is a long run from turn 27 to turn 1, and we saw 3 wides here last year as well down into that first corner. So yeah, there is possibility for racing here. You think Santander is buggy for a bit? As I said, man, Simon, I appreciate it. I appreciate it anyway, buddy. Thank you. Congrats on the 40k subs, Ghost. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Yes, it was a great milestone to hit last week. We hit. I was in the flow as I am last week, and I looked up at my monitor that I have above my head, and I looked up and I saw that there was 18,000 viewers, 20,000 viewers it reached, and I was like, whoa. Where did everyone come from? So yeah, no, it was brilliant to see. A good prediction for Jeddah would be number of DNFs in the race. Ooh, yeah. Well, there's no room for error here, is there? We have seen plenty of red flags before. Now the percentage of red flags here is quite high. We didn't get one last year, I don't think. Did we get a red flag here last year? Not sure we did we? We had a safety car with Lance Stroll. Not sure if we got. I know we got safety cars, so... Who's going in the wall? I think we may see a couple of rookies in the wall. I do. I think we may see a couple of rookies. Because they have raced here in F2, but it's very different jumping into an F1 car. So, 50k sooner or later. I know, thank you, man. Yeah, we'll get there. So let's have a look at what Pirelli are providing us. This is like music to my ears right here. Oh, so, good news. They've brought a step softer than last year. Yes! Oh, I've spilt my coffee all over myself. Oh, in my excitement, I've just spilt my coffee. Good thing it wasn't boiling hot, but... Let's go! Hard compound tyre is the C3. The medium is the C4, and the C5 it's the softest, other than the C6, which is only... They're saying used for really low degradation tracks and the likes of Monaco and Imola. Oh, bless. I'll hear her again. I'll go grab her in a second. We can see that it's because of the change in directions through here, particularly for the first sector in particular. where you need a considerable amount of downforce and there's a lot of lateral load put on the tyres. Oh, hang on, let me just go grab a little one. Go get my co-host. Come here. Hello. It's okay. Say hello to everyone. Yeah? You want to say hello to everyone? Yeah, Mum. This is kind of needs must, actually. It's not for likes. There she is. She's the missus is out. She's going. Well, she's not out yet, but she's getting ready to go out. She's going to see. She's going to a music event at the O2 later. For any of you UK fans, Gabrielle. She's going to see Gabrielle. So yeah, I'm on daddy duties. Is she teething? She is, yes. She does have one tooth at the moment that's come through. So, hair's coming through. Hey, say hello to everyone. Don't forget the coffee. The coffee's fine. Yeah, the coffee's out of the way. Oh, the coffee on me. Oh no, the coffee's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But you new editor. Yeah, my co-host. She'll be the co-host for later on as well. So yeah, as I said, I'm technically in her room now. My setup is in her room. That's why the sim racing, which she seems to want to get a hold of right now. That you've got more use out of that wheel there than I have in the last few weeks. So hey Josh. So yeah, basically yeah, because this is her room now, I don't get a lot of time to hop in here and do any kind of sim racing. But tonight I will be. I'm going to try and get some sim racing in tonight because yeah, she can go in our room. But where was I? Where was we? What were we talking about? We were talking about the tyres. Yeah, that's it, the tyres. The lateral load. So what we see, so you can see there the asphalt abrasion is number 2. So that's why that's why Pirelli can afford to bring here much softer tyres. Whereas the at Bahrain, that was at its peak, that was at 5. So it was a very high abrasive circuit. Now, in relation to lateral load, you can see there it's a number 4, and the tyre stress is right in the middle in 3. Now, this is a circuit where really you need to be able to balance, of course, your top speed. Last year, we saw the Red Bull so quick through that first sector and still maintain a really high top speed in the rest of the track, whereas Mercedes, as an example, they had high top speed, but they had to sacrifice the downforce, and they were so slow in that first sector. That's why they were so far off the pace. It's very set up, as it is at any circuit, so important, but in particular here, there's a fine balance that you need to have. But it does bode very well that we have the softest compounder tyres that we can bring here, other than the C6, which wouldn't really be feasible for here. So she knows Pirelli's are lasting too long. I know. So we have the C3, C4, and C5. Technically speaking, yeah, Daniel, if you want to treat it that way, yeah. And then the C6 is the ultra soft. So training a young age, brilliant, future super fan. Yeah, haven't quite got her in their F1. In their F1 fit. Your eyes look so blue here. Where have you got your blue eyes from? Honestly. Me and the missus have both got, I've got like greenish eyes and she's got brown eyes and she's got blue eyes. Where have you got those from? Eh? Who could win this one? I think you have to head into every single weekend expecting McLaren to be there. They should be. They've got the fastest package in clean air. Caveat that with clean air. But when it comes to in dirty air, very different set of circumstances for them. What we have yet to see this season is actually the two McLaren drivers like go at each other, haven't we? In Australia, unfortunately, wasn't really the circuit for it. And since then, they haven't locked out... No, China, they locked out the front row. Did they lock out the front row in China, or was Lando third? I can't remember where he qualified. No, he qualified third. So other than Australia, they haven't locked out the front row. That's mad, isn't it? Have I got a signed helmet yet? No, not yet. Can Ferrari win this race? I don't think so. Hey, Aaron, good to see you, mate. Precious moments, mate. Enjoy. Thanks. Whoever gets pole with safe assumption to win, everyone who has took pole this year has won. That is true, Daniel. Yeah, unless I think this is a circuit where you can overtake, similar to Bahrain. So I think if one of the McLarens gets some pole position, then yes, they should really kind of see it through. But yeah, I guess never say never with safety cars and so forth. It seems to be the way that the races are going at the moment. Of course, with this, we've spoken about dirty air to the world's end. So pole was king because yeah, there you go, Jacob. Yeah. So I mean, would McLaren be able to get? I mean, actually, it is a circuit that's more easier to overtake compared to Suzuka. So I do think, let's say Max got on pole or George Russell got on pole. I do think the McLarens would have the opportunity with 3 DRS zones here to actually make an on-track overtake and get the win. I do think that's feasible here compared to like the likes of Suzuka. At Alpine compared to this track, Glenn, to be honest with you, no one knows what type of Alpine is going to turn up week in, week out. I think the performance of Alpine at Bahrain was very different. Who knows with Alpine? I couldn't tell you. So, Stuffey, give Ferrari fans some hopium. Oh, well, I guess Charles has qualified well here in the past, hasn't he? Lewis has gone well here in the past. Lewis did say he discovered that Charles seems, which was very telling, but Charles does seem to have Stuffey as a kid. I know, who would have thought it? It feels weird myself to say that I've actually got a daughter as well. Lewis did say that Charles sticks with a setup from very early on, and he progresses and he uses that throughout the season. Throughout the race weekend, and that bodes very well for him. Whereas Lewis likes to tinker, as he did at Mercedes, and Lewis just needs to just pick a setup and kind of stick with it. To be honest with you, so hopefully he does that this weekend, and we see an improvement for him. But it's going to be a tall order for them to get on pole position with the pace of the McLarens, and I think the Mercedes are looking good as well. Who knows what sort of Red Bull's going to turn up? We don't know at the moment, so. Blue is a recessive gene for your daughter to have blues. Yeah, I know. To be fair, her eyes, I don't mind her having blue eyes. My sister has blue eyes, and my mum does, as well as the Mrs. Dad. So I know where I do know where the blue eyes actually do come from. Lewis does have a tendency to mess with setups and making the car worse. Hope he stops that. Yeah, and that's what I was just saying. That's why I said on the Missed Apex podcast about Lewis, is that that's what I specifically saw him say in that post race interview with Sky Sports. So yeah, he definitely needs to stop that. That's a clear indication of why Lewis in his Mercedes days, why we saw him do very well on a Friday, and then on the Saturday or from Saturday to qualifying, he would just be very poor because he was tinkering with setups and he was making the car worse. So he needs to just stop that. So thank you, guys. Were you trying to make a milkman joke? No. This whole time it's Lewis touching the car. It is. Less risk. Yeah, Lewis tinkering at Ferrari makes more sense than at Mercs, to be honest. He did say he tried all setups now. I know. I mean, I guess maybe the thing is that he just, obviously he lacks a lot of confidence. We mentioned as well that on the Saturday he was very... What did he say? He had no excuses for his poor qualifying. He was 9 tenths off pole and he was 6 tenths off of Leclerc. Now, the interesting thing is that he was... what was he? He said he had no excuses, and the thing is that he just has... I think he just struggles with tyre warm-up. He has done throughout. We know how sensitive these tyres are. Many of the drivers have complained about them, and he just struggles to get them in the right window when it comes to quali for a single lap. So, Rob Sticks, there's no need to retract your message, buddy. I saw it. It's fine. She does. She gives it away. Yeah, I do think that she's only 6 months old, so she does kind of give that age of where it can be easy to mistake whether she's a boy or a girl. So yeah, no, it's her name's Mila. So yeah. Am I British? Nope, I'm German. Did I say that with a straight face? Did I say that with too much of a straight face? Sorry, no, I am British. You hungry? Yeah, come on. Yeah. Food time. She's having fun here. She's had more use out of this sim rig than I have. Hang on. Stop your fussing. There you go. I'll keep you quiet for 5 minutes. Thank you, Pablo. Horner said the buck would stop with him when he's leaving. Oh, sorry, what, with Max Verstappen or just with Horner and himself? Is Max going to win this one, or is it going to go like Bahrain? I mean, Max did say he doesn't have much hope for this weekend. I think so. The reason we saw Max and that Red Bull really come into its own at Suzuka, I think, was a number of reasons. I think the fact was that the tyres lasted so long; they just didn't degrade at all, which is not like Suzuka normally. The fact that I do think the cooler conditions potentially helped Max and the Red Bull come into the right window. And I don't think he's obviously not going to get that here this weekend in Saudi. I never rule out Max. However, that Red Bull, I don't see it being in that right window here. I don't see it being in that right window here at Saudi. He might be quick for a couple of seconds. I've got a feeling we might see that Red Bull be similar to how the Mercedes performed here last year. Good for a couple of sectors or one sector, but then just losing so much time for the remainder of the track. Drop your head back, Missy. What are you doing? You're spilling it all. There we go. More of it's going down your chin than it is actually in your mouth. Has anyone tried using 2 different compounds at the same time? You're not allowed to. There's rules against that, Vom. Just imagine being born and your dad has a sim rig. If you're Lando, how much are you wishing you did not beat Ricciardo as badly as you did? If Ricciardo is Lando's teammate, this is World Championship for Lando easy. I mean, look, you can't decide who's your teammate, and you have to try and beat your teammate. And winning a World Championship is never easy. Max has made it look easy. Lewis has made it look easy. Schumacher's made it look easy. But you look at the drivers who have been alongside them, they arguably should also have been challenging for that world title, and they haven't been able to. So it's not easy winning a world title and doing it over a season. Piastri started off the season very well, and he seems to be very calm and collected. Yeah. The proof is still in. I still think the proof is still in the pudding over a duration of a season for Piastri. Last season, he had that. It was kind of like a season of 3/3 for him. You could say he got off very slowly, and then the middle of the season he had that big high, and then the end of the season was very poor for him. Now, there's nothing to say that he might go for a similar form this year. I don't think he will, but he still needs to. It's a very long season ahead of us. We've still got 19 races now, 20 races. I can't remember how many races we've got left now. So, like, you can only beat who's put in front of you, and you have to try and take that opportunity as much as you can. You have to think of it as well for Lando's perspective. If he is able to win the World Championship, he can go, I beat a very highly skilled teammate. So, if this goes like it does in Bahrain, Piastri could have a chance at this race and hopefully the championship. The thing with Norris is his mentality. Yeah, so I think... So I've seen some kind of criticisms of Lando. I say some criticisms of people saying that Lando shouldn't be so open about his like feelings and emotions and stuff, which I kind of, to understand, I get to an extent, because people want to see drivers and they want to see sports stars be more open with their emotions, and for obviously mental health reasons and so forth. However, there is also an element of that competitive nature that you have to think of when you're in F1. What image, if you're complaining about the car that it doesn't suit your driving style and you're being very negative on yourself and you're displaying all these negative faults, on the one hand, while it's like, yeah, okay, maybe great for him to get it off his chest, what does that do for the McLaren engineers? What does that do for Oscar Piastri, his competitor? Piastri's going to think, well, I've got one up over on Lando. It's going to make Piastri stand up even taller if he knows he's comfortable with the car, yet his closest competitor for the championship, his teammate, is struggling a bit. That's going to give him a slight edge. And plus also, as the season goes on, and if Lando continues to say I'm struggling quite openly, then the team are going to eventually favourite Piastri, aren't they? So there is an element of, yes, being honest and open that I think everyone kind of needs to do, but you don't have to be as open. There's like a line, really, I think, especially when it's so competitive. Amazing how Leclerc outscored everyone towards the end of last season. I know, Anne. I mean, there's big questions to be asked about Ferrari, isn't there? About their development direction. Big questions about that. So, yeah. Morning, Mohammed. Good to see you. Lando doesn't deserve to be number one driver. Ooh, I think he does deserve to be number one driver. Well, not at the start of the season. I think he's deserved, especially last year, to be number one driver. But hey, Spice, good to see you. Right now, he doesn't deserve to be number one driver because he hasn't got a significant lead and it's too early on in the season. And Piastri has shown that he is able of beating Lando. So, yeah. He's just sandbagging his mentality so the other teams have a full sense of security. Yeah, I get it, but your battle's not really with the other teams. Your battle, realistically, is with your teammate. Like, that McLaren should be locking out the front row week in, week out. So, and then they should be driving off into the distance. Yes, they're not as quick as they're only quick kind of really in clean air, but yeah. Norris is a fast driver, but very inconsistent. Piastri is a good driver with amazing consistency. You choose Piastri, Jacob. Well, time will tell. Time will tell. I do think the pressure is... I mean, look, Lando had such a messy race, didn't he? Such a messy race in Bahrain. And he's still leading the championship, but that gap, I mean, Oscar Piastri kind of gave him a head start, didn't he, really, with what happened in Australia. And now look at where he is. He's 3 points behind. So, on one hand, you could look at the positives and say, I'm still leading the championship, and I had such a messy weekend. But realistically, at the start of the season, people knew the main rival was going to be Piastri. You had a 20-point advantage, and now that's dissipated in just a few races. So, do I think Max will leave Red Bull? I've said this before. Yes, I do think he'll leave Red Bull. So, I know there's been a lot of talk about it right now. I don't see Max leaving until the end of 2026, to be honest with you. Even if Red Bull do terribly poor this season. She's about to cry now. I do apologise. Always does this. Where's my food? I've run out of food. You've eaten it all. That's what you've done. Yeah, you've eaten it all. That's where she hasn't quite comprehended that that's where it's gone. She's a Max fan. She may be. Sorry, going back to Max. So I think... Well, actually, it was interesting. I was watching a video from the race earlier, and they were stating there is talk that from his team in itself that the decision Max is making is that he's going to position himself, stay at Red Bull for next season, and he's going to at least see where the lay of the land is, you know? See which team is performing well, which engine is going to dominate the start of 2026, because no one knows at the moment. And when it comes to... and then maybe assess his situation, see where Red Bull is, and, you know, and then he can decide where he wants to go. However, George Russell's proven himself at the moment. That seat at Mercedes may be completely locked up next season, till the end of next season, if they're happy with George, and of course Kimi Antonelli. And really, he may lose his bargaining power. Now, people may think that's crazy because it is Max Verstappen, but teams also have faith in their own drivers. Like McLaren have locked in Piastri and Lando for multiple years now. You've got Ferrari are locked in with Lewis and Charles for the foreseeable. You've also got Mercedes potentially being locked in for the foreseeable as well, with George and Kimi. So those seats could be all wrapped up. Max loses any sort of bargaining power that he has, or pulling power that he has. The only place is Aston. And I really do think Aston is the only place he will go to because of the Honda connection, because he's familiar with how their engines work, and Adrian Newey. And I do see it happening at some point. I think Red Bull have got issues, real issues behind the scenes. So, but not a George fan, but George could be world champion in the near future. I'll tell you what, George is doing tremendously well at the moment. He said something very, very apt earlier. He said something very, very apt. And people were asking him about his contract. He hasn't got a contract signed for next season. And he went, I'm not worried. He went, look, drivers have contracts all the time in F1. And we've seen drivers perform poorly and lose their seat, even when they've got a contract. So contracts don't mean a lot to an extent. He went, a driver's currency is performance. If you're performing well, you have a lot of currency to maintain that seat. He goes, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I'm just focusing on performing well again here this weekend. And the next race, and the next race. And he goes, and the contract will sort itself out. And I thought that was very well put. A driver's currency is their performance. It's the same in any sport. Contracts are just contracts, aren't they? They can be broken. It's just whether or not whether someone's willing to pay for it. Excuse me. No, you can't pull that. Otherwise, I can't hear things. She's trying to grab the wheel now. Better there. I know she's literally held onto that wheel more than I have in the last few weeks. Williams is a new template of a team after Newey leaves. McLaren did well for a few seasons, granted. Yeah, 2026 is setting up really well, really well. So, but thank you everyone for tuning in. By the way, if you're just tuning in, we have just gone early. I didn't go live last night, as I do apologise. I've just been busy with work and so forth. Oh dear, don't you throw up. Someone said, sorry, and you said something about a fantasy team. I did see that. What did you say about my fantasy team? I can't remember. Stuffey's a Lando fan, but I am a Lando fan. You read on Twitter that Red Bull willing to compromise the 26 car if it means the RB 21 is up to par. I saw that as well, and I think that's very telling. But if that is true, there's nothing to say that it isn't. Sorry, that it is true. But if it is true that they're willing to focus more resource on this season, I think that says I think that says a lot, about them losing Max Verstappen, or their worries about losing Max Verstappen, and that they need to perform. We all know the rumours about a performance clause. Thank you, Nadir. We all know the performance. Well, we all know there is a performance clause in his contract. I think that's kind of a given now. I think it's been pretty much confirmed. We don't know the specifics of that performance clause, but I think it's very telling that they're willing to put so much into this season to probably stop Max from that performance clause being activated, because it in effect would make him a free agent. And if anyone wanted to buy out Max Verstappen, then that's going to cost them a considerable amount of money because of how much money he earns. He's the highest paid driver on the grid. So, do I think Toyota will return in F1? I think so, Frenzy. Yeah, I think their technical partnership with Haas was them dipping their toe back into the water back into the F1 water, and I think you'll see them potentially buy Haas, especially with the whole tariffs situation as well, and Haas stating that this is most likely going to affect them. I think, yeah, they'll probably look to sell at some point, and it makes sense for Toyota to buy an existing team, then start from scratch. They'll have to work out the RB21, otherwise they can't trust any wind tunnel. Yeah, that's the big issue at the moment, isn't it, Max? Yeah, bang on there. So the big issue that Red Bull are having at the moment, guys, why are they struggling so much? Is because they're having a correlation issue from the wind tunnel to the track. Now, this is what Mercedes had at the start of this regulation set, is that the wind tunnel, the data they were seeing in the wind tunnel was not then what they saw out on track, and they just suffered in a considerable amount of a lack of performance because of it. And that is what Red Bull with their wind tunnel are seeing right now. So that is a big issue because you can't. It doesn't matter what you're designing. You're just going to go around in circles. Just going to scratch your head. That is your gut feel from an IT background and an old F1 fan. Yeah, I think it's kind of, I mean, they've even stated as such, but that is the case. They've got a real issue. They've got a real issue from what they're seeing in the wind tunnel. And then also what they see in the wind tunnel, the data they get from the wind tunnel is also what they put into the sim as well. So, and then they're basing setups and how they set up the car on what they've done in the sim. And the sim, like, it just doesn't correlate. It's completely different. Eminem might be getting cut off to Canada. Yeah, I saw that, Dan. I think it's a shame, but to be honest with you, I can see why Imola is going to be cut from the calendar. I think it's just not suitable for F1. It's kind of a Monaco. I know we've spoken about Suzuka. It's kind of a Monaco 2.0, impossible to overtake. There's a reason why they're bringing the C6 tyre there this season to try and promote more degradation and strategy. But yeah, I can see why Imola will be removed. I love Imola on the sim and I love racing it, but it is a difficult track to overtake even in junior formulas and stuff. So Imola is too tight. Yeah, you read Newey told them last year not to go down that track and they ignored him. I think that was one reason he left. Yeah, there's multiple reasons probably why he left, Glenn. Same as Jonathan Wheatley as well. To lose two major players, two major roles in what Red Bull are today in the space of the same season, I think is very telling. It's very telling. So the issue with the wind tunnel is that it's sensitive to weather fluctuations. Oh, interesting, Dave. Hopefully a lighter cars next year and the push to pass will be great for racing. Hopefully, Dan. Hopefully the unpredictable nature of it as well. At least, I just really hope we start next year's regulation set. Let's change scene. I really hope next year's regulation set at least a couple of teams knock it out the park, get it correct from the get-go, because too often one team just gets it right. But we should be able to set up the live data now, guys, with only 14 minutes to go. So let's see. Track map's still not up, is it? Still not live. That's interesting. You're being very good, little one, Missy. Being very good. Oh. Down on here. Dear, what's going on here? Live data is still not up yet, which is interesting. Do I play the race sim, Rob? Yeah, I haven't been able to recently because of this one here, because the sim rig room is now her room. I'm in her room. Yeah, I predominantly race iRacing if I get the opportunity to do so. I will be later on this evening as well, for the first time in God knows how long. But yeah, I love it. I've got VRS wheelbase and pedals. I can't recommend them enough. They've just released their new DD wheel as well, 12 Newton meters, and a slightly cheaper LED wheel. A much better wheel than this, to be honest with you. This is it's a bit pricey when it first came out. It's a solid wheel, but it's being discontinued. The one I've got, the new one, highly recommend. I'll be getting that soon to try out. And I'm on the next level racing rig. So yeah, I have a... You can find my setup on a video somewhere. I haven't done an updated one for some time. I will have to in the near future when I get an opportunity. But yeah, I know the new F1 25 is coming out. I don't really have too much intention to play it, guys. Never have done, so... Hey, Racing, good to see you. Yeah, thank you, guys. She's sweet, yeah. What's up? Hey? Hey. Right, live data is up, ready to go. Have I got something on my face? There's something on my face. Right. Where am I looking here? Race control messages. Bosh, nearly ready to go. Are you going to be good for a little while longer? Yeah. Right. Should iRacing be on console? I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. There's already a lot of issues with like ping and so forth with iRacing, and I think if you put that to console, it's gonna exasperate that. And I also, maybe I'm generalizing here, but I feel like a lot of people who are on console probably don't take, while the accessibility is great, I don't think a lot of people would take the racing as seriously. So, right, there we go. Look at this track map. It is horrendous, by the way. I cannot rotate this. F1, do better. Provide us a track map we can actually rotate. Hate all this empty space. She's probably asking herself, yeah. She does know who her dad is, though. iRacing needs its mods. I mean, maybe iRacing could do a console-only thing. I think that's something they're probably looking to do in the future. But they make a shed load of cash anyway already with what they're doing. So maybe it's something they don't really need to do and explore. So... The business model of iRacing doesn't suit console. That's very true, Panda. Yeah, they would have to, I think, create their own. They'd have to create their own model for console, wouldn't they? She's 6 months old. She's 6 months. What do I guys think? Piastri wins this as well as a number one seat conversation at McLaren. I don't think McLaren are going to enforce any team orders Blah. They're not going to enforce a number one driver until it's mathematically possible one of them can't win, I think. We saw that last year. I think we're going to see that again this year. So, can't wait for the one-stop strategy for the Ferraris, yeah. You can't focus on the proceedings. Oh, she has to... I mean, she will be... if she gets restless, then I can put her to the side in a bit. So, I'll show you your setup. I can't do that right now. I can show you... there is videos of what... Did I take a video of what my setup is here? I don't think I have done one since I've got here. Actually, I need to do an updated one. So, but if you want to know what my setup is, there is a link in, there is description below of what I've got. So basically, I'm on an ultra-wide monitor. I've got a Samsung G9. So I absolutely love it. Can't recommend it enough. And then I've got like an old monitor of mine, old gaming monitor, an Asus ROG one that is like above. So whenever you see me looking up, that's where I've got all like my data and stuff for like other things. 3 months. Wicked, man. She my daughter? Yeah. So yeah, I'm on daddy duties today. The missus is on her way out. So she's going to a concert. Loving the co-host today. Yeah. Have I tried virtual reality? Yeah, that's what I started the channel out, Vom, initially. Initially, I was a VR sim racing content creator. And then eventually, I started on the Oculus Rift S, and then eventually, I just kind of got a bit tired of it. First world problems. It just became a bit of a fuss and an effort to record videos and live stream. I think it's because I wanted to live stream more as well, and I just wanted to be a bit more comfortable when sim racing. And then I've always liked the idea of ultrawide, and then triple monitors has just always been a bit too much for me, space wise. So yeah, it's been very good, and it was very handy when it came to productivity for doing like my assignments and stuff, and my dissertation for my uni degree, which I completed last year. So, but yeah, I do recommend VR. You off? So yeah, no, it was. I do recommend VR if you want pure immersion. VR's the way to go. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. She's off to Gabrielle. Gabrielle's performing at the O2 tonight. So, with console mostly, all racing games don't allow mods, which makes most gamers move to PC. Yeah, exactly. So, she's on her way out. On her way out literally out of the door, not figuratively. Why did you just drop that? Okay. Right, I'm going to be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to be back in just a sec, guys. I'm going to go get some bit. Oh, wait, you're putting off the headset. I'm just going to go grab, before with FP1 about to start and this one starting to get a bit restless, I'm just going to go get some bits for her to keep her occupied. So, there you go. Funny fun. Be back in 2 seconds. Well, not 2 seconds, but you know what I mean. Come on. I'm back. Lots of you in here have little ones as well. When I mean little ones, proper little ones as well. So. Oh, hey, Bertie. I didn't realise that was you. Hope you're well, mate. Predictions for today. No predictions for today because it is practice. So who knows what we're going to get. Hopefully no one bins it. The morning, this is a session that is a little bit unrepresentative, similar to Bahrain as well, guys. If you're just tuning in, welcome, by the way. Thank you for joining us. If you've been here since the start of the stream, hope you've enjoyed it. We're only moments away from FP1 getting underway. And, well, we have no rookies, like, you know, FP1 testing, thankfully, here at Saudi. But the track temperature is 50 degrees. So it's not an evening session like we get later on in FP2. So similar to Bahrain, the FP1 and FP3 are kind of unrepresentative sessions. Only FP2 kind of really counts so much, especially with these soft compound tyres. We'll see how long the drivers are able to kind of make them last and see if will we see any performance runs? Maybe. But yeah, the afternoon session or the later session is the one that we're really is the one we're keeping an eye on. I was really early. I know I was, Ming. Any mistake here? You're in the barriers. Exactly. Yep, exactly. Hey, Stephen. Oscar Piastri will win this weekend. Well, he's definitely the man in form. Definitely the man in form. Do I think Red Bull's upgrade after Imola is too late for the season when the car is not good for Max? It could be. When do we go to Imola? It's a good few races away, yeah, isn't it? Only moments away, by the way, guys. 2 minutes 30 seconds until we get underway. Did I catch that? Mike can see it. Did I watch the glorious football last night? I didn't, no. But I saw the eventual result. Tough being a Man United fan, isn't it? I saw the Arsenal and Real Madrid game, though. That was good. Little one's just down to the side of me. Alright, let me know when you're there, yeah? Cool. Sabo, we're getting to Q3. Possible here, possible. You mean new render of the proposed Saudi Circuit 1 mistakes and you're falling down the 50 stories high. Yeah, I don't imagine it's going to be like that. Imola is 2 races away. Okay. You okay down there? I'll bring her back up shortly. She was getting a bit restless sitting on my lap. So she's down in a big like rubber ring thing that she's lounging in with toys at the moment. So I don't know why she screams. Out of excitement. Don't scare. You're going to scare everyone if you do that. Any upgrades? No, I don't think there's any upgrades here this weekend. I don't think there's any upgrades. We saw everything we did back in Bahrain last week in relation to Ferrari. Very different circuit here, though. So, yeah, let's see what can happen here. But you can see there, thankfully, it's always a good sign to see that the data works. As you can see, Ocon there with his speedo, trudging down to the end of the pit lane here where you join just after corner number 2. How about Russell today? What am I expected from Russell, Sophia? Oh, I mean, to be honest, practice is practice. I don't read too much into it, but I am expected a strong weekend again from Mercedes and from Russell. They seem to be just such a more well-balanced car. You can maybe attribute a lot of that maybe to Lewis Hamilton experimenting with things last season. If you're just joining us, guys, I do apologise, little ones here today. But she's excited for FP1 about to get underway, aren't you? Yeah. You're falling down, aren't you? Sit up. Good posture. But here we go. FP1 is underway. Should be green light any second. Come on, show me the green light. It's slow. There we go. Green light. Pit exit lane is open. There we go. So FP1, the last FP1 session of this triple header is underway, guys. Yes. Should I make I tell you what, the track is that I feel like the markers are a bit too big, you know. Should we make them a bit smaller? Let's make the markers just a bit, the track markers a bit smaller. Where are they? Is that a bit better? That seems to be a bit better, doesn't it? It's a horrible track map. So, FP2 is the more important one for this one. It is Udrell, yes. Yeah, so FP1 is similar to Bahrain. So we've got all the practice sessions are similar to Bahrain. They're held in the afternoon, and then you head into the evening time. So the morning session, as you can see, is, well, it's morning session. The earlier session is like 50 degrees here in Saudi at the moment, and then the evening session will be considerably cooler. But still, they're going out there to gather important data, nonetheless, see how these softer compound tyres are. They were one step softer than last year. Sorry, guys. Could be a bit of an interrupted FP1 and FP2 session today. But 50 degrees is, yeah, so if you're just joining in, we have one step softer than we had last year here at Saudi. That's what Pirelli have notified us of, which is good news because hopefully it provides us with more elements of strategy. As what's going on with the data there? Sainz and Albon, the data's going a bit squiff there. We had issues last week, of course, didn't we, with the transponder of George Russell, so hopefully we don't have that again with other teams as Albon's diving into the pit lane again. Apparently the track barriers back a bit further. Technically it makes it easier and not so terrifying while going at high speed. True, but it just means that, I mean, they're still gonna hit them, aren't they? Really. So FP1 start time is still on, is it? Oh, apologies. There we go. I tried to be Steve. Oh, hang on. Are you? Oh, dear. Grown up over yourself. Come here. Oh, lovely. Smells are sick right now. Is that a little giggle? There we go. Take that. There you go. You're not playing ball right now, are you? You want that, do you? You're not supposed to put a wire in your mouth. But yes, no, this is not really a representative session, but the teams are still going to be. It's going to be interesting to see what tyres they decide to use. What is I would suspect that the harder compound tyre here is a tyre that they'd want to save. I think, but we'll see. Norris is pushing already. Not. Are you okay? What's going on? Oh dear, hang on guys, hang on. I do apologise. Why are you making so much noise? Sorry guys, bear with me. I do apologise. I know it's not the normal watch-along experience here for FP1. not what a lot of you... She's getting a bit restless. Bear with me. I'll find her something else. Okay. What's going on? Oh, she has opinions. Right. What's wrong with you? Better? Yeah? Better? There we go. Come on. Right. Who says men can't multitask? In their F1. Show their F1 outfit. You're in your F1 outfit, look. Yeah. Oh, I'm back, guys. I'm back. Apologies everyone. That's what happens when you got a little one. Oh, quick nappy change. And this. Are you fussing that much? Why are you fussing that much? If you hear some strange noises, it's because of toys. Just FYI. So hopefully it's not too off-putting. Last year, what was last year's pole position, by the way, guys? If you can let us know, that'd be fan-dabby-tastic right now, because it's always interesting to see how close, of course, these drivers get in practice. We didn't see pole position of last year beaten due to the track conditions last week in Bahrain, but could we see that here in Saudi with the softer compound tyres? Potentially. So, thanks, guys. Thanks. And the pit stop timer for nappy change. I'll tell you what, that was one of the quickest pit stop. That is one of the quickest nappy changes I've done. just a wet nappy, thankfully. 130.5. What was pole position last year? Surely not. Surely not. I mean, we're already at that. 130.4 from George Russell. So Max Verstappen up there. So intrigued to see how Max Verstappen gets on here this weekend. Of course, lots of it. We know the McLarens are going to be up there. Let's be honest. I think we know the Mercedes are going to be up there. There's a lot more intrigue around Ferrari, and of course Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda still. So she's asking how Stroll's still on track. Yeah, crashed here last year, so... Hey, Mark, good to see you, mate. Is this track map on a diet? I know. Well, I've actually had to thin the track layout out because it was just... I mean, yeah, the shape of it is horrendous for a viewing perspective, so I've tried to make it as viewingly as well, as easy as a viewing experience for you. Mila, her name is, so... Hey, you're good. You know you are. Do you want your... chew toy? There you go. So I may have to put dance. This may go from a F1 watch-along stream to a dancing fruits stream, watch-along stream very soon. You're a Verstappen fan. All fans are welcome here, Renz. That's cool. Absolutely fine. I'm personally not his fan, but I'm ultimately an F1 fan. That's the thing. So, yeah, every fan here is welcome, as long as you're respectful. That's the main thing. Ocon teleporting. Yeah, hopefully, I mean, a few drivers are teleported here. I think we had something, I feel like we had something similar here last year as well, with issues with transponders with the data. Hopefully we don't get that again this season, but it's not boding very well, is it? So... would I let my daughter get into real-life racing car if she gained the interest? I would try my best some more, but oh, are you okay? The problem is it's just money, like anything with motorsport. Yeah, I tell you now, I couldn't afford it. No way, I couldn't afford it. So, what about rookie Alonso? Am I a fan? I am a fan of. Do you know what? I have moments with Alonso. I like him, but I feel like I have moments where I'm just like, dude, you're just, some of the things that you come out with, like, you just seem like you're just a man who's a bit like the salt he comes out with for like Lewis Hamilton and stuff. Like, you definitely know they're backhanded comments or indirect comments to Lewis Hamilton, and you're just like, dude, it was so long ago that you got beat by Lewis in that season. Just get over it. She is 6 months. 6 months. It's fine if you think she looks like a boy. I get it. She's 6 months. She's got short hair. It's fine. So don't feel embarrassed, by the way. I would say he's in the wrong car. Remember 2023? Who? Fernando Alonso. Yeah, I think so. I think he's still got it. I think he's still... Why are you making so much? I do feel like Alonso is a driver that if he's given a car and he's got no... Can I not get 2 words out? Apologies, guys. I do feel like he is a driver who's just lost already all motivation for this year. I think Aston Martin in general as a team won't surprise me if they're tanking to get some more wind tunnel time for next season. Of course, with Adrian Newey now on the books, so it would make sense, wouldn't it? Teletubbies are bluey. Bluey. Do you know what I'm going to do? F1, the actual... I know I've got the F1 coverage on here, but I'm going to have to change it, aren't I? I'm going to have to change it so that she can see this. There we go. Oh, what you got there? Great parenting, by the way. That'll keep her occupied. I need to. Oh yeah, I do need to change that to 40 to 50. I'll change it to 45. We'll do intervals of 5. Sorry, with the 40,000 subs. Yeah, thank you for helping us achieve that last week. Let's change that 45. Yeah, you like that, yeah? Like the dancing pineapples. Right, yeah, let's actually look. Right, now I can actually focus. Apologies, guys. It's going to be kind of interrupted. The FP1 and FP2 sessions are not what you're normally going to experience here. But thankfully, it's a little bit more chilled experience than, of course, qualifying and on Sunday. There's 3 DRS zones here. So the 3 DRS zones are just, where are they? They're from like turn 19 to turn 22, from turn 25 to before the last corner, and then the start-finish straight. So that's where we have them. Primarily, most overtakes are done down into turn 1, as we were discussing in kind of our pre-practice show. But yeah, we can see most people on the mediums at the moment. Will we see many on the softs? I'm intrigued to see, actually. Maybe the soft is a viable tyre here this weekend. I don't know. I feel like drivers might have to sacrifice a set of softs though, going into quali. Problems again, no Albon. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the transponders. I mean, this is not me, by the way. This is other people. This is F1 live data. So if there's issues with that, then it's, yeah. Snowda got yeeted back to Bahrain. The Binder, thank you for the 20. Much appreciated. I think it's 20. Is it 20 dirham? Is that dirham? Thank you, buddy. It's transponder issues. Yeah, it's issues with the data. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? You're never normally this loud as well. You're putting on a show for everyone. Aren't you? You like the new mascot, Clinton? Yeah, thanks, guys. Kind of hilarious how drivers keep flying. Yeah, I don't know why it's happening. Why they keep flying off? But yeah, look, it is what it is. It's not. It's nothing that I can control, unfortunately. But 13 tyres, not including inters and wets. Okay, so there's three quali sessions. You've got. I mean, they want to gather some data on the hards as well, don't they? No, probably. She's the least immature F1 fan. Hey, Andy. She is teething at the moment, Vom, to be honest with you. Yeah, she's got one tooth come through at the moment. But I'm trying to keep it all kind of... I'm trying to keep it... Oh, incident, Lawson. Failing to follow race director's instructions. What was that for? What's he done there? That's normally due to a start practice start. Liam Lawson there. Of course, it needs a big weekend, doesn't he? Needs a big weekend, Liam. Already checked that, Mal, yeah. Yeah, I've already checked that. But we did a nappy change about 10 minutes ago, and it was all good. So I think she's just a bit restless. Like, normally right now I'd be standing up, probably throwing her about, because she likes to be thrown about. But yeah. 1976, wow. I'm going to make you feel old, Max, and I've said this before, I think, to you. But yeah, I wasn't even born there. Probably wasn't even... I don't think... Yeah, I wasn't thought about. Right, let's get you in your thing. Oh, guys, sorry. Oh. I thought this would be a lot easier, to be honest with you, but how wrong I was. How wrong I was. Ah, right, yes, guys, thank you. Thank you for the 1,200 of you in here for FP1, by the way. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, hopefully you've still been enjoying the stream nonetheless. Practices are just obviously a bit of a chill time. So yeah, I'm on daddy duties today with the missus. Enjoying her bank holiday weekend by going to a concert this evening. So yeah, big thank you for everyone tuning in. Of course, we'll be back all weekend. So... for every single session. I should let her drive. She might do it better than Perez and Lawson. Oh, harsh words, Mark. Harsh words. Ferrari looks slow. They do at the moment, yes, 9/10 off. But as we know in practice, they only just... I mean, we don't know. Lawson will be investigated after the session, by the way. We don't know fuel loads, engine modes, etc. Verstappen and Sonoda. Sonoda only a couple of tenths off. Well, not even a tenth. A tenth and a half, I'd say. Tenth and... 1/10, just under 2 tenths back from Verstappen there on the same tyre, by the way. So intrigued to see how the Red Bulls get on. Of course, lots of talk about Max's future at the moment. So Yuki's getting used to the car every race. He is indeed, Rob. Yes. Yeah, he's made good. He's had a good start. He has definitely had a good start. Now, Red Bull have stated that they are setting the car up to be more balanced, for as balanced as possible for him, rather than just going for outright speed, which of course is what Max is looking for in his setups. And that's where I think a lot of drivers have gone wrong before at Red Bull. So yeah, thanks to Daddy Duty, Scotty. My pleasure, George. Enjoy, Gabrielle. Do I think Hamilton will struggle in the Ferrari this weekend? I don't know, man. I don't know which Hamilton's going to turn up here this weekend. If he doesn't tinker around with the setup, then hopefully he won't. I mean, he's only less than a tenth behind Leclerc at the moment in this practice session in his fastest lap. So hopefully not. Hey, Antonio, welcome, buddy. Everyone seems to be having telemetry issues again. Drivers dropping off map. Yeah, it's not me. It's nothing that I can do. You'll probably head to other streams as well and see something similar. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. Go and head to other streams. You want to stay here. Do you think anyone's going to accrue enough penalty points to get a race ban this season? Well, no. The only driver who can, FYI, is Max Verstappen still. Max Verstappen can still... yeah, Max Verstappen's the only driver who can, so... so maybe that's affecting him in how he is racing. Who knows? Don't think we've seen anything like that at the moment from Max anyway. You can't buy membership, Devinder. Oh, how come? Is that because you're on iPhone? There is a link. Obviously, the link below you can click. I know on iPhone it's very difficult to join as a member and stuff. I think I'm just going to set up a Patreon, to be honest with you. And I think we'll just do things like that moving forward. Because that's an easier way for you to support the channel if you want. Of course, YouTube membership's great as well. I'll link kind of the two so that you can get access to exclusive streams. Hey, don't cry. Tired. Play the happy song. When's she due for a nap again, George? When did you say? 4 o'clock. Try and keep her awake till. You're getting all the parenting tips now, guys. If you ain't had kids yet. Oh no, it's on the desktop. It's taken over my Spotify. Oh no, no, stop. Playing the happy song on Spotify on the stream. That wasn't for you guys. It wasn't supposed to be for you guys. Hopefully we don't get copyright for that. Hang on. There we go. She's all right. 3:45. Okay, that's cool. Gasly's been pretty sneaky again. Yeah, Gasly up into P5. The Alpine. Ooh, signs on a set of softs, by the way. First set of softs we're going to see. Track temperature's falling, as it would do. Started at 50 degrees and is going to get cooler as we head on into the evening. 35 minutes of this session. Do you want to hear the happy song? You can Google it if you want, Andy. It's very catchy. It's very catchy. Do I think Max will perform good in Mercedes if he were to leave Red Bull and join Mercedes? I mean, you expect a driver of Max's talents, yes, to be able to adapt to a Ferrari car. We've seen from Sainz and from Lewis that changing engine supplier and brake supplier, changing teams, sorry, where they have different engines and different brake suppliers, it's not as easy as people think, especially when you've been driving at a team for so long. Max has been driving... He's only ever known Honda engines. He's only... no, tell a lie. He's known Renault engines, but they blew up every 2 races. But he's only ever driven at Red Bull. So to go to another team after so long, you would expect Max to adapt, of course. But he might not be on the pace from the get-go. It might take him a bit of time. So, no worries, Rossi. Is Gasly going to get a podium? No, I don't think so. I think some things have to considerably go wrong for teams ahead of him for him to get a podium. Max going to Aston Martin. I've seen this rumour, $260 million offer. I don't know. I mean, look, Max's camp no doubt have had discussions. They would have had informal discussions with Aston Martin, with Mercedes. And yeah, they'll probably know a ballpark region of what it would cost. That's probably about as far as it's gone. So, unless a miracle happens like Brazil 2020, basically impossible chance it's ever going to happen. Yeah, exactly. You need a race like that. So, bye. That's keeping her occupied. Which engine will be the front runner at the start of next year? Who knows? That is the question, Glenn. That is the question. Sainz goes up to P2, which is interesting. Only on a set of softs. That's 3 temps. That's still 2.5 temps down on Russell. But Norris out on softs now, as is Verstappen, as is Piastri. Ooh, some push laps maybe. Bit unexpected. Will Daniel Ricciardo make a comeback? I don't think so. I think. Look, while you may be a fan of Ricciardo, I just want to see fresh new blood in F1, you know. I think, look at the youngsters. He had his opportunity. If he wasn't able to do it in the RB, he's not going to be able to perform in a caddy, is he? You like George's interview? He said he would be driving for Mert this weekend and Silverstone. I saw that, Max. Yeah, we discussed that. It was very apt what he said. Very interesting, where he said a driver's currency is their performance. They were talking, obviously, about Russell's contract and how he doesn't have a contract going into 2026. And he said, I'm just not concerned by it. He goes, a driver's currency is performance. You need to perform out on track. We've seen drivers with contracts not perform and they've lost their seat. So he said the contract will sort itself out. And no doubt he's probably got his management team looking after that and having discussions with Toto. And I mean, I think there is definitely a sense of them not signing George to see how he would rise to the occasion of being the #1 driver, and to see leave a seat open potentially for Max Verstappen, because we know that they were talking to him, and his team. I do think that's definitely a case, but George has pretty much answered any doubts at the moment that maybe Mercedes had about him. So exactly, Tan. Yeah, it doesn't. A contract just means that the other team just has to pay a considerable amount of money to buy them out of it. So it's a slight deterrence for someone buying, getting a driver, just like it is in football as well. It just means that a team would have to pay a higher fee to buy them out of that contract. Interesting, Oscar Piastri. So did George turn his engine up for that medium compound run, which is the fastest lap we've seen thus far? There's potentially that is the case. I mean, there's big questions, isn't there? There's been big questions already about Mercedes. They've started off very solidly, you would say. Not the fastest car, but they've had a solid car, more solid than they have done in this regulation set. And we have been at kind of cooler track temperatures than what we have seen at other circuits. And this weekend will be a test for Mercedes, because we are expecting there to be the highest temperatures we've seen at any of the circuits thus far. So, hey. Okay. Where's your toy? Find you a different one. Peak parenting going on right now, guys. Hang on, hang on. Where's the counting one? Yeah, this is the one. Dancing fruit, counting, dance music, play some tunes. Right, Lando Norris. Ooh, sub 29.5. So that's a bit more like it. It's a bit more like it. Did anyone check the fastest lap from last year? Was it 29.1 as well, by the way, guys? Can't remember. You're looking after a baby. I am looking after a baby, Kevin, yes. You'll be hearing, no, Josh, this is not right every weekend in the pits. Leclerc up into P4 there. Where did Max go? Max did a 29.8, and Yuki is on a lap at the moment. So how's Yuki getting... No, Yuki's on an out lap, so we'll keep an eye on Yuki when he comes round the last corner. Do I think Checo will sign with Caddy, or will like Seb or Ricciardo? I think they'll sign Checo, Ian, to be honest with you. I think the money that Checo brings in the form of sponsorship and just like... I mean, and Checo's Checo is a solid pair of hands in a midfield team, which is where Cadillac will probably join, potentially towards the back. They're not going to be a front runner from the outset, are they? They will. He's a solid pair of hands, experienced enough to report back and give enough feedback on the car to improve it and improve the team. And then I think they supposedly want to go for an American, but who do you go for? I mean, unless they go for that, is it Hugo Chukwu, who's in F3 at the moment? Maybe they fast-track him, I don't know. Apparently Colton Herta. But I think Perez is probably a given, to be honest with you. And I think it's a smart choice for them to have an experienced driver like that. 27.4 was pole last year. Thank you, Vom. Okay, so we're still a good couple of seconds off that then, aren't we? A good second and a half, so... speaking of contracts, there should be some term limits for father-son teams to discourage team owners having kids in their sport. It wouldn't surprise me, Breeze, if once Lance Stroll... Hey, it's okay. Once Lance Stroll leaves the sport, it wouldn't surprise me if there is a said rule introduced to cover that off in the future. Yeah, I think so. It would make sense too, wouldn't it? Do something FIA, they are teleporting. I know. Is it only when they're going into the pits that they are teleporting? No, it's definitely not, because Carlos Sainz has just come back off screen. No upgrades on Hamilton's car. He's got the same upgrades that they had last week in Bahrain. So, thanks, David. Saudi is buying Aston Martin. They offered Max a 3-year contract for almost 300 million. Well, yeah, they're the title sponsor, aren't they? Aramco. So, can I do the commentary in my baby voice? You have to pay extra for that, Simon. That's bonus content. Sonoda isn't too far. Yeah, sorry, we missed Sonoda's time there talking. Apologies. Yeah, not far off Max at all. It's interesting. It's a good start. Now, people will say, is it because Max is struggling, or is it because Yuki is doing good in the car? I think it's maybe a combination of the two, because there's definitely still a performance gap between the two drivers, understandably. But, I mean, Max is already half a second off of Norris. Even in these conditions, you'd expect to see Max a lot closer to the top. We still know that this isn't the be-all and end-all session. Not that representative to the other ones. So to the second one. So, hey Jackie, you think Max will leave Red Bull before his contract expires? Oh, I think he'll definitely leave before his contract expires. He's got a contract to 2028, and that's a very long time. So. 300 million, is it possible? I mean, anything's possible when you've got Saudi owners. The thing is that in the cost cap, the top 3 highest earners in any team are excluded from cost cap. So normally that's the 2 drivers, and then that can be, I don't know, a team principal or something. Yeah, I think they got around Adrian. Adrian Newey was earning similarly close to what Max Verstappen was earning per year. But Adrian Newey was technically a contractor. He was technically subcontracting himself to Red Bull or whatever. He was an independent contractor, so he wasn't. That was like how they bypassed the cost cap. But yeah, they could pay Max Verstappen what they wanted. To be honest with you, they could pay him that £1 billion, and it wouldn't count in relation to the cost cap. So, any upgrades to the Sainz car? No. To be honest with you, sorry if you can hear her loving life down there. I'm not sure about upgrades here this weekend. I'll have to check in between sessions. I'll check. Normally the FIA releases their graphics of what teams have brought for this weekend per week. There may be some track specific things that teams have brought here this weekend, but there's nothing that I've seen or that I'm aware of. But I'll do some digging in between the next session. 300 mil over 3 years won't be enough to turn Max's head. He'll prefer a quick car in 60-80 mil. Yeah, I think money. There's a point. I imagine, I'm not obviously this rich, but I imagine there becomes a point where you get so rich that an extra 50 mil is not going to be the be-all and end-all for you in moving teams. You want to, when you're already one of the top earners and you're already earning, you already have more money than you could think of, the performance is what matters. So it's the assurances. Yeah, the money is great, but it's the assurances that come with it of being able to give a good car, because that's what Max wants. Max wants to win. And that's the whole reason why they've been kicking off behind the scenes, his team and so forth, is because Max doesn't want to be fighting for 6th place. He wants to be fighting for 1st. So, can we have a baby Stuffeyy every stream? It adds a wholesome vibe. As I said, oh my goodness, Gasly to the top of the timing screens there at 29.2. Who said Gasly podium earlier? Baby wants to race. I'll bring her up towards... How long we got left? 22 minutes. I'll bring her up at the end of the stream, guys, again. So she's been on stream for a good hour or so. She'll be here for FP2 as well, because, yeah, she'll be awake for FP2. But imagine a £1 billion contract, I know. Adrian Newey was employed at Red Bull Advanced Technologies, which were the department that did the Valkyrie, etc. Exactly, yeah. Charles Leclerc going fastest in the middle sector, FYI. So we're starting to see teams go a bit quicker on the second lap of these tyres. Second push lap on these tyres, which is interesting from Charles Leclerc. So his last lap was a 2:36.9. So he definitely did a cool down lap after a push lap. So let's see what he does here, unless he dives into the pit lane and ruins it for us all. Nope. And he goes 3rd fastest. Okay. Interesting. Lewis, are you going to sort your act out? He's 4 tenths slower than Charles Leclerc, 3 tenths slower than Charles Leclerc in the first sector. So not a good first sector for him. He's a tenth slower in the middle sector on Charles Leclerc as well. Hamilton's 13th fastest in the first sector, by the way, guys. So not good from Lewis thus far in that first sector. Let's see Hamilton. So this is probably going to put him... Hulkenberg's just gone 5th fastest in the middle sector. Sorry, I said just. Last lap he did. And Hamilton only goes 9th fastest. Only just quicker than Hulkenberg. By 0.002 of a second. So that's not good going for Lewis at the moment. We don't know engine modes and so forth and setups, but... We'd expect that Ferrari to be a lot closer to the top, wouldn't you? Especially ahead of Verstappen. So, I'm your biggest... Sorry, you're my biggest fan from Kenya. Ooh, I think some other Kenyan supporters here, who I know may dispute that, but thank you, John. You think Max will perform this weekend because Saudi circuit is a front-limited circuit, just like Suzuka? That's a fair point. That is a fair point. We'll see FP2. FP2 is the one we need to keep an eye out on. That's where we'll get a true reflection of pace. What's with the crying baby? I'm on daddy duties. The missus has gone out. So it's either no stream or a stream, but I'm on daddy duties. So just hoping for sub for 4-second stops by Red Bull. I know. You're okay. Do I reckon the Mercedes will get a 1-2 in Saudi? I don't know. I think Antonelli still has a bit to prove. He's definitely made improvements race weekend upon race weekend. I mean, his qualifying was great last week. Lost a bit of time on track, didn't he? But it didn't help. Didn't help with Mercedes' strategy, that's for sure. But yeah, I think Antonelli's definitely going to get a podium this year. It wouldn't surprise me if Antonelli gets a win at some point this season. I really do think he could do that. So, my predictions for this weekend. My predictions for this weekend. I think we're going to see a genuine battle for the lead between the two McLarens. Will Norris respond here? That's the question that I'm asking myself right now. Not sure he will. I am going to say, on the basis of how that McLaren's driving at the moment, I think Piastri has a handle on it. And I think Piastri is going to win this race. But I think we'll see a battle out on track for the race win. Norris will be second. And I'm going to say George Russell will be not that far behind them in P3. I think the Mercedes are going to be strong here this weekend. I really do. I think that's what's going to happen. Hamilton's still learning from his own sailing. Yeah. Albon up into P5, by the way. Ooh, bit of change here. Bit of change. Top speed is essential here, Renz, but it's also not that. I mean, you need a right balance here because the first sector... You need to be able... So last season, what we saw in particular is that we saw that you need to be able to keep it flat through quali. What is going on with you? Let's pick you up. We've got 17 minutes remaining. What are you doing, eh? We saw last season, I remember this now, Mercedes were losing a second, almost 8 tenths in the first sector alone because they couldn't keep it flat for the first sector. Whereas Max... Hey! Patient. Just like your mum, impatient. What was I saying? Yeah, so they had to lift through some of the corners in the first sector. So because of that, they were losing a considerable amount of time. Hey, where's your toy? There we go. Chew on that. And if any team isn't able to do that and go flat out for the first sector, they're going to lose a considerable amount of time. So you need a good amount of downforce as well here. Did Gasly just eat magic beans? He's improved so much. I've always really rated Gasly. I really have. It just depends if he's got that Alpine is a good enough car for him. Which at the start of this season it hasn't been. So Interesting news coming out of Alpine as well. Why are you fussing so much? You're interrupting your dad's talking points. Pulling the cable. Apparently, it's coming out internally from Alpine that it is only Flavio Briatore who wants to put Franco Colapinto into the car. A lot of the team have a lot of faith about Jack Doohan, and they believe Jack Doohan has shown enough that he can improve, and that Colapinto isn't necessarily going to be this big improvement on Jack. They're happy with his feedback, they're happy with his pace, so yeah, potentially Jack Doohan could be lasting longer, but Flavio Briatore normally gets his own way, doesn't he? So we'll see. Can we file our complaints directly with your wife? You can do. Don't worry. Tomorrow I will be baby free, so don't worry. She's eating giraffe. Yeah, it's a chew toy and a squeaky toy as well. Why are you so loud and fussy? Other toy gone. What is the time? I don't know what the time is right now. You've still got another half hour at minimum, little one. Oh, such a hard life. Oh, so hard. You wait in 18 years' time when you've got to go out to work. Life will truly get hard then. You're subscribing because of the baby. This is a needs must right now, not because of I'm fishing for subscribers and stuff and that. So you're okay. Don't worry. Oh, you've thrown up a little bit over your. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Oh, I thought I'd seen a little bit of froth there. You're okay. Stop fussing. Stop fussing. There we go. There we go. There we go. This is Multiviewer. You thought Briatore was banned for Formula 1? Oh, no. No. That's Flavio Briatore had that ban removed after only like a couple of months of it being dished out to him. So, hey. Come on. What is that, actually? I don't even know what animal that is. Looks like another giraffe type thing. There we go. Change your life to a baby live stream. Her name's Mila. So, baby Stuffeyy. Any good news for the Bulls after last week? Too early to say. Too early to say about the Red Bulls' performance at the moment. This is, as I said, I wouldn't read too much into this session right now. Although, I would say the one thing is, even though this is an unrepresentative session, the fact Gasly is still at the top of the timing screens indicates that Alpine have continued to brought over that performance from Bahrain. So, yeah, I've currently got this toy. It's like a spinny wheel and lights up, but it's keeping her occupied. If you're wondering what the noise is, so I don't even know if it is coming through. My wife is watching the stream. Yeah, she probably is on the train right now. Hey Dusko, good to see you, mate. You think the British team's back in front is coming soon? We had 15 years of Mercedes and Red Bull, Germans, Austrians, French and Japanese of engines. It's time for some US, UK, Italian results. Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to see. I mean, obviously McLaren technically is a British team, but it's owned majority by the Bahrain ownership. Williams, it'd be great to see Williams back up there. So. 2 years of here live to teach to walk and talk, and the rest of your life sit down. Exactly. Bearman on poor at the moment. Yeah, so the RBs were hoping. So it was interesting. I was listening to Isaac Hadjar, and Isaac Hadjar was stating that the unique circumstances of the abrasive circuit last week and the track and the air conditions were the reason why they didn't perform very well. Have they even set a time on softs yet? I'm not sure if they have. No. So the reason why the RB car is at the bottom is because they haven't yet set a time on softs. I would say after what we saw from Haas last week, never rule them out because they might not have a car. Haas might have flipped it on its head. Do you remember when Haas used to be a car that was quick over a single lap, but then it ended up being like falling back for the race? Well, it seems like they might have turned that on its head And they've actually got a quick car when it comes to race day, but not over a single... yeah. Her red right cheek, constant gnawing and short complaints. The classic symptoms of a tooth coming through. Yeah, she's got multiple coming through. She's got one already, so... Yeah, she's got one already off that we can see. So she's at that age. She's 6 months. So how dare you to say you are babysitting? I know. Yeah, as I said, guys, look, I do apologise if it's not what you're used to, but appreciate 1,200 of you being able to sit through this. Are you? Why are you fussy? She's normally a bit quieter than this. Hey. The times for the watch-alongs this week are right in her wake windows. So unfortunately, yeah, they haven't played ball with her naps. If Gasly continues his form to the races, do you think he can get a podium with luck, Brazil? With luck, Ian, yeah, I think he'd need luck. Because I don't think the Alpine has got the pace over a race distance, especially with the Red Bulls and stuff. Well, Red Bulls, sorry, with the McLarens, the Mercedes are looking pretty solid. And if one of the Mercedes isn't there, you can expect one of the Ferraris to be there. And there's a lot that I think needs to go right and wrong for the other teams for Gasly to yeah. So we've got 10 minutes left, Missy one. There you go. There you go. Suck your thumb. She's more of a thumb sucker. So, Lewis is using Charles' setup. You would, well, whether he's using it or not is another matter, but he needs to not tinker. That's what he said last week. Is that Charles picks a setup, he kind of pretty much sticks with it for the majority of the weekend. It sounds like that Hamilton is making quite drastic changes to his setup from session to session. So, which is never good. How can you build confidence in a setup that you're just changing constantly? And this is one of the things that I had about Liam Lawson is that, and I think you can't really directly compare Tsunoda's performance to Lawson's, is because there's been progression in how they've decided to set up the car and how they've developed the car even from the first 2 races of the year. But Lawson, they changed his setup from each session. I don't think Liam Lawson actually had one... He didn't have the same setup for each session he was in. Which, in a car that you're already struggling with, to try and build any confidence is just so tricky to do. Obviously, he didn't get on top of it as quick as people of Red Bull would have liked him to, but I think those... And he missed a couple of sessions as well due to the engine issues and so forth. So I think, yeah, better in the missus, get her back home. That should be... She's right. Hey. There you go, there's your toy. There you go. Chew that. Whenever you fall asleep during a session, Albon is always P12. Hey, Taco, good to see you, mate. You love Jeddah. It's such an awesome track. It's a dangerous track, isn't it? But that's part of the enjoyment of it, is that it's fast, it's quick, there's risk attached to it as well, and you want to see the best drivers on the limit, don't you? That's why people go on about Max's lap, the lap that never was so often, is because of how close he was on the... Well, he was on the limit, and then he went over that limit, didn't he? And wasn't able to complete it, so... Even the best driver... No, exactly, Anna. Yeah, a driver is limited to what is going on in the car underneath, and they're limited to the machinery underneath them, so... You're right about changing the spec until quali, but if he can't, good luck to anyone else. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Nog. Yeah, a bit of a different one. This is a Stuffeyy and co-host stream. So apologies if there's lots of baby noises and that. I know I keep saying it, guys, but big thank you as always. Yeah, bit of an unrepresentative session. Not really too much to take from this, I would say. Seems like the data has sorted itself out, thankfully. Liam Lawson's been investigated for probably... a pit lane infringement, which is just, well, failing to follow director's instructions. Give me a second, guys. Why are you... Minutes left. You're all good. You're all good. She's all good. She's got a dummy in now. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. I lost my tracks of thought. What have we seen this practice session? Yeah, not a lot, to be honest with you. Not a lot, so. Do I think the Lawson hate is really well deserved? No, I don't think it is. I can see why people are kind of like dunking on him, because he came out with some confidence. He came out and was openly confident and made some comments, which looked like they have backfired on him in relation to you should be able to adapt to the car and so forth. But I feel like he wasn't afforded the opportunity to adapt to the car. I still don't subscribe to any driver, no matter how poor those first two races are. I don't subscribe to any driver being dumped after two races. I just don't think that. And then Red Bull can say, oh, well, the pressure, yeah, we're looking after his mental health. I think that's just total BS, to be honest with you. I think it really is. I think it's just like you can't expect a driver to get on top of something that even they know is difficult, and that their main driver is stating is difficult to get a hold of as well. I know it's like two different extremes because Max is more towards the front end. I don't care who it is. They shouldn't be dumped after that. They should be given time. They should at least be given half of the season. So Lewis will get on. Just give him time. Yeah. Ever thought of getting into airsoft, Camo? No, not really ever been my thing, mate, to be honest. Done paintball a few times, though. I have seen the videos online, though, of airsoft. It does look fun. It was not decent to change Lawson for Tsunoda. No, I mean, look, I get the argument. I think the argument is correct in should Lawson have been put in the Red Bull seat in the first place, in the first instance. I totally get that. I don't think Tsunoda had to take the opportunity, but I think, yeah, the replacing of him after two races is just poor. And it just all it does is just highlight the poor management of Red Bull by Horner and Marco, really. So the Alpine car looks so solid. That engine is rubbish. Yeah, where's Jack Doohan at the moment? Jack Doohan is 15th. So has he only done on the mediums though, or has he done on the softs? No, he has done some laps on the softs. So, but of course, Jack Doohan is a rookie. It's very different. It's a circuit that he only would have done in F2, wouldn't have done here in F1. So yeah, Gasly is a driver that I really highly rate. I do think Gasly deserves another opportunity in the top team. I really do. I think he's really recovered well from what was that struggle at Red Bull. But yeah, he's really grown into a very solid driver and a quick driver as well, if he's given the car underneath him. Looking at the time sheets, it's not looking good for Hamilton and Ferrari. We'll judge it more so in the afternoon, in the next session. Only 3 minutes left of this session. You like the dummy. Why are you taking the dummy out of your mouth? Honestly. It calms her down and then she removes it. They should have got Antonelli, as that guy's going to be a danger as he grows better each race. Yeah, I mean, Antonelli's definitely one. This is almost like a freebie year for him. He can just bed in. The new regs are coming in next year. They want him to grow. They want him to learn, get used to the rigmarole that is F1 and the F1 circus. I totally get why Antonelli was put in. Tsunoda currently setting better times than Max. Is he? Let's have a look. 29.821 last time out. 29.818 for Max. I mean, yeah, they are lapping basically identical at the moment, aren't they? Verstappen and Tsunoda on these kind of like long runs. Similar lap mediums as well. Similar age. Got just a few minutes, and then you've got all my attention. Yeah, we'll have a look at sector times and stuff in a second as well. 1 minute 41 left, so... I do think Alpine could be a top team next year with Mercedes engine, potentially. I don't think Alpine's going to be Alpine next year, Glenn. The rumours are, and, well, we've got it from quite... the source we've got it from is someone who's quite very well versed with Alpine. He has stated that they're currently undergoing a sale, and the naming rights are up for grabs as well. Potentially high-tech. That's the rumour. Who Ollie Oakes, the team principal, is an owner of, who was financed by Mazepin's dad, is going to be buying the team. I'm not saying Mazepin's dad will be involved, but I don't know. But yeah. Max's statement. A lot of people were talking about it except me. I did see that, Tam, mate. Yeah, and I think a lot has been made out of his comments in relation to Crofty. It was tongue-in-cheek. I don't think it was said, like, viciously or anything. So, yeah, it was said tongue-in-cheek with a smile in his face. So, hey, Rob, what time will FP2 and FP3 be? FP2 will be on in a few hours' time. I have the stream set up already, so you can go and head over to that if you just go onto my channel, onto my lives. So you can open up your browser there and wait for that stream. FP3 tomorrow is the same time as FP1 today, and then qualifying will be the same time as FP1, FP2. So Lotus High Tech next year, yeah, maybe. Do I have baby? Do I have a baby? I do have a baby, yeah, and she's down here crying right now. Come here. You have not settled at all, have you? Made a fuss of checkered flag. Hey, we made it. We made it to the end. Yeah, and we do it all again in a few hours' time, Missy. She's getting tired. She's getting tired. Hey, take the dummy. Take the dummy. There you go. There you go. Ow. 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 No, it's not diaper change. It's about to be nap time. That's the thing. She's been awake for a bit too long, so... Oh, there we go, guys. We made it to the end. So, yeah, Gasly, top of the timing sheets there. Norris, P2. Leclerc, P3. Piastri, P4. Albon, P5. Russell, P6. Sainz, 7th. Hamilton, 8th. Verstappen, 9th. Tsunoda, take the dummy. Tsunoda, 10th. Lawson, 11th. Hulkenberg, 12th. Antonelli, 13th. Alonso, 14th. Hadjar, 15th. Doohan, 16th. Stroll, 17th. Behrman, 18th. 19th is Ocon. And Bortoletto, 20th. So, yeah, unrepresentative session there, guys. Look, the track called 7 degrees from the start of the session. It was 50 degrees when it started. Similar to Bahrain, FP2 is the one we want to keep an eye out on, so be sure to tune in for that. We'll get relative pace of the teams here because it is an evening session. So we should see some proper push laps as well. But yeah, I mean, it does bode well for Gasly that he's at the top, continuing some good form. A time is 1 a.m. Ian, if you tune in, buddy, I appreciate it. You're a parent, you completely understand baby duties have to be done. Exactly, Kevin. Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough that she's actually, yeah, she's pretty chill. She might be even more chill later on once she's had a decent nap and so forth. So pit stop did have a baby. Baby did have a pit stop earlier. So hey, she wants to be picked up as well. She likes it being up in the air. Like I don't look it, but I'm 6'2", and she likes being up in the air. So, but anywho, guys, that is it. I'm gonna go put her down for a nap. We'll be back in a couple of hours' time. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for the patience. And yeah, we do it again in a few hours' time, guys. So have a good lunch, dinner, wherever you are in the world, and we'll catch you in a few hours. Hopefully, this one will be a little bit more tolerable as well. I'll do the speed trap. Well, yeah, you can speak. Sector times are here, guys, so you can see the sector times just before we go. There's the sector times. Speed traps. Hang on, I'll get those up. You are really getting restless, aren't you? There's the speed traps. So what's interesting is that you'll see is that the Ferrari boys are slowest over the finish line. Some of the slowest over the finish line. So But there we go. Right, that's it, guys. I'll see you in a few hours' time. Bye. Thanks for your patience.